Hello and welcome to another video on Matthew and Aaron Reacts, and we've got a belter here, back from our kind of heyday at school being into politics, when George Galloway won Bethnal Green and Bow election and called it the most sensational election victory in modern history. And we just had to do a reaction to this video because Jeremy Paxman is a star.
I miss him.
Yeah, you've got to miss the Pax.
And a young look out for a young Lammy in this one. Young David Lammy.
Yeah. This is an absolute archiver. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
And let's go.
Well, we're joined now from his count in Bethnal Green and Bow by George Galloway. Mr. Galloway, are you proud of having got rid of one of the very few black women in Parliament?
What a preposterous question. I know it's very late in the night, but wouldn't you be better by starting by congratulating me for one of the most sensational election results in modern history?
Are you proud of having got rid of one of the very few black women in Parliament?
I'm not, Jeremy, move on to your next question.
Well, you're not answering that one.
No, because I don't believe that people get elected because of the colour of their skin. I believe people get elected because of their record and because of their policies. So move on to your next question.
Are you
because
proud?
I've got a lot of people who want to speak to me.
If you
ask that question again, I'm going. I warn you now.
I warn you.
Don't threaten me, Mr. Galloway, please.
Don't threaten me, Mr.
Don't
Galloway.
try and threaten me, Mr. Galloway, please.
You're the one who's trying to badger me.
I'm not trying to badger you. I'm merely...
Man switched it to badger.
I said he's badgering him, you know. Oh, God, yeah.
Ask you whether you're proud of having driven out of Parliament one of the very few black women there, a woman you accused of having on her conscience the deaths of 100,000 people.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about that one. There's absolutely no doubt that all those new Labour MPs who voted for Mr. Blair and Mr. Bush's war have on their hands the blood of 100,000 people in Iraq, many of them British soldiers, many of them Americans.
Right, so the point of, so to give people context to this, obviously, conversation, when he sort of says that, obviously that was the vote in Parliament to join America's war with...
Correct, yeah. In 2004, in Iraq, yeah.
Obviously, a tragic decision as far as...
yeah. Well, for the entire world, mate. Real balls up ever since, frankly.
You know, laughing and joking aside, that shit still, you know, we're still reaping...
Still talking about it now, yeah. I mean, you know... In shockwaves wise, we only left Afghanistan recently, didn't we?
Yeah, and Tony Blair, obviously, I think George Galloway's got a right bee in his bonnet still for Tony Blair, correctly, and I think he made a film.
Yes,
The Killing of Tony Blair.
Legal title,
and feels like Tony Blair should be actually charged with war crimes.
Well.
A lot of people have that sentiment. Because it was an illegal war, wasn't it?
Well, it was a dodgy dossier it was done on, wasn't it? As they call it. Yeah, it was an illegal war. Absolutely, yeah. You go to UNICEF tomorrow and say, "Can I have the details of that war? Was it illegal?" They say, "Yeah, absolutely right."
I think it was also the Chilcot report.
Yes, that's it. And there was a load of lies and skullduggery, and went in on a wing and a prayer, and it was all a mistake, basically, wasn't it?
Absolutely. But we'll leave the seriousness and go back to George Galloway's interview with Jeremy Paxman.
Soldiers, most of them Iraqis, and that's a more important issue than the colour of her skin.
Yes, because you then went on to say, including a lot of women who had blacker faces than her.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
He didn't flinch, mate. He didn't flinch. Absolutely right.
Like, it's the fucking goal.
Yeah.
To just carry that out.
I know. And just absolutely right. Not flinch.
This is prime Galloway, by the way.
It is.
It's prime Galloway.
It is.
He didn't give a shit about much, really.
Not at all.
And I think that guy.
But also, what was kind of funny was the insinuation by Jeremy Paxman is that George Galloway is a racist, and the reason that he just walked her off the ducks backed it. This man basically spends most of his time fighting anti-racism.
Yeah.
So he's like, absolutely right. Absolutely, I'm entitled to say that. Absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
Absolutely right. So don't try and tell me that I should feel guilty about one of the most sensational election results in modern electoral history because the person I defeated
Galloway, that
is a
Nick
woman
Rainsford
or
had you to a T when he said you were a demagogue.
I'm sorry?
Nick Rainsford. You know who I mean? Nick Rainsford, Labour
I don't.
MP?
No,
you've never heard of him.
I've never heard of Nick Rainsford. No.
He's a parliament.
What else haven't you heard of?
Well, I've been in Parliament a long time.
He was a parliamentary colleague of yours until very recently.
Most of them just blend one into the other, Jeremy. They're largely a spineless, supine bunch.
Have you ever heard of Tony Banks?
Yes, I have. Yes.
Right, Tony Banks was sitting here 5 minutes ago, and he said that you were behaving inexcusably. You had deliberately...
Tony Banks, absolutely. Of course I have, yeah. Of course I know Tony. Don't be ridiculous, Jeremy. Oh, mate.
Yes, I have.
Tony Banks. To go to that part of London and to exploit the latent racial tensions there.
Well, you are actually conducting one of the even by your standards, one of the most absurd interviews I have ever participated in. I have just won an election. Can you find it within yourself to recognise that fact, to recognise the fact that the people of Bethnal Green and Bow chose me this evening?
Oh, we recognise it.
Why are you insulting them?
I'm not insulting them.
Yes,
I'm not insulting you.
You are insulting them. They chose me just a few minutes ago. Can't you find it within yourself even to congratulate me on this victory?
Congratulations, Mr. Galloway.
Thank you very much indeed.
How do you propose to use your time in... Oh, I see. It's another occasion of you not wanting to talk to someone who doesn't agree with you.
Actually, Jeremy.
All right. David Lammy, what do you make, Mr. Galloway?
Straight in the date. All right, he's off.
I think he's a carpetbagger who came down from Scotland to whip up racial tension
lived in London
in Tower
for years,
Hamlets.
mate.
And I think the sad thing for Tower Hamlets is it's the poorest
Gotta say, big up Lammy, hashtag Lammy.
Young Lammy,
you know.
constituency in London, and he has inherited now the most divided and polarised.
But he has got a point when he says there were a very large number of people, a majority as it turned out, who took his view of the Iraq War as opposed to Oona King's very loyal view of the Iraq War.
I accept that across the country, in some constituencies in London and the South East, people have protested.
Some?
But I've got to say...
It wasn't... Nah, come on.
He's
spewing the party line there. That's terrible.
Definitely party line, but I've got to...
Some constituencies, Aaron. Like Richmond said, nah, we don't give a shit about the Iraq War, mate. No problem at all.
But I've got to point out, though, looking at the stats on the screen, it is one of the most sensational
election victories in modern history.
336.
They murked it, mate.
One of the most sensational electoral victories in modern history.
But please, God, let's have it again. Anyway.
Against the Iraq War. The manner in which he won that seat, whipping up racial tension, dividing some of the poorest people in this country, I think was obscene. And I'm deeply sad that Tower Hamlets has lost in Oona King an MP who actually did the work on the ground in her surgeries for those poor people.
She is a carpetbagger.
Absolutely. Right, so that was George Galloway in his absolute pomp. Obviously with versus Jeremy Paxman and David Lammy. Obviously the George Galloway bit is by far the best bit of the video. If you did enjoy that video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and me and Matthew are going to be hitting way more of these reactions, man. So yeah,
it's good fun, isn't it?
Good fun, mate. Good fun and good content. So yeah, catch you on the next one.
Yeah.